Hello everyone, my name is Noni, Mazda Kia Water Dealership. Today we are at Talk the Talk. I'm with Sharon Klopper, our finance and insurance manager. I'm excited to have you, Sharon, today.
Thank you, Noni.
Okay, we are actually going to have a conversation about empowering women in motor industry. I've got a couple of questions to ask you, Sharon, because you've been in the motor trade for many years. You started motor trade before I was even born.
Thank you, Noni.
My first question to you, Sharon, is tell viewers more about your journey in motoring in South Africa.
Well, Noni, I started in the motor industry in 1984. I started at Westbank in Atkinson House in Eloff Street. It was quite a wild ride then. Worked in Jewel Street, where we used to sign the contracts, run away, because sometimes the cars didn't even have engines in them. It was a very rough early start to the trade. I was very fortunate in that I was mentored by some incredible women. In those days, women weren't really in the motor industry, so I've been very blessed in the motor industry. I landed up working for a company for 30 years as a regional manager. I retired and now I'm back, full force.
Good. We all wish to be you.
Thank you, Noni.
All right, I'm sure that's interesting to all our viewers out there. And the second question is, what's your opinion about women empowerment initiative, which is empowered by MFC and AVO by Nedbank and Seriti Solutions?
I'm very excited to be part of the initiative and to be asked some questions on the initiative. I think if this hadn't been started, it would be really sad. I was very fortunate, as I said earlier. I met somebody by the name of Marina Mapanya, who was the director of, in those days, Barclays Bank.
Sorry, Sharon, are you talking about Marina Maponya?
Maponya, yes.
The one they own Maponya in Soweto, Maponya Mall.
Yes, the very same lady. At the time, she was a director of Barclays Bank and of Patco Bus Services, and they called her in to come and teach us ladies what it was like to be in the motor industry. And if there's one thing she did, was she empowered women, every single woman that she came across. And through that, I feel that I need to pay it forward, and every other woman that's been touched by somebody like her in our lives needs to pay it forward.
What a legend. I'm so excited. Are you telling me that you were working with Maponya, Mrs. Maponya, hand in hand?
I wasn't that fortunate, no. She was just somebody that they brought in to mentor young ladies.
Good.
In those days, I was in my early 20s, and she just was like a mentor to come and uplift us. We were all very scared and nervous of the men, intimidated.
Sure.
In those days, women were supposed to be barefoot in the kitchen, pregnant, or secretaries, teachers, or nurses.
Yeah.
Being in the motor trade was not something that women did in the early 80s. And she really taught us a lot. That, you know, I got the impression that if she could do it, I could do it.
Good.
So yes, I owe a lot to her.
What interesting. All right. I'm so happy for you, Sharon. The third one, what encouraged you to work in the motor industry?
Thank you, Noni. As I said earlier, in those days, in the early 80s, women could be nurses, teachers, or secretaries, or tellers in a bank.
Yes.
Being in the motor industry was something that people didn't think about. But my father was the managing director of Vespa Sales at Grosvenor House in Eloff Street, and my uncle was a salesman at a Ford dealership in Eloff Street. I can't remember the name of the Ford dealership, but I looked at their lifestyles. I looked at the clothes that they wore, the cars that they drove, and I looked at that and I thought, I don't want to be a nurse, a teacher, or a secretary. I want the motor industry. I want petrol in my veins. And so that's where it all started.
Exciting. And then, what do you love most about representing Mazda brand?
Noni, I was introduced to Mazda again in the early 80s. My first Mazda was a Mazda 323, a bright yellow one, very exciting vehicle. And then shortly after I retired, I was helping out at a dealership in Santon, and they traded in a Mazda CX-3. And for a week, this Mazda CX-3 sat in front of my office, and slowly but surely I fell in love with the Mazda CX-3. I then decided to buy it, and I've just fallen in love with the brand ever since. So it's been since 2019 now that I've just been a Mazda girl.
I'm happy for you, Sharon. I was also owned a Mazda 3. It was a 2006 model. I bought it in 2016. It was a trade-in actually in the dealership where I used to work for before. So yeah, I love the car. I still have one even today. It's an exciting brand. I'm happy for you. And then tell me, what's your management style?
Okay, Noni, this is quite controversial, and I hope I don't offend any of the viewers. I don't believe in a management style. When you think of a manager, you think of somebody that wants to control, somebody that wants to be in control. I don't agree with that at all. I like the words coach, leadership, and then a disruptor. Somebody that comes in and grows the team, makes them better than what they are. Because as a manager, you're going to move on. So if you can get your team to the level that they don't need you, if you do move on, they can perform without you. And if you've done your job properly, one of the team members will take over your job. So my management style is more of a coach, a mentor, and a disruptor.
Good, that's excellent. I think we all need to learn from that, because normally managers, they take that title as an opportunity to own other human beings. But I think your management style is very unique.
Thank you.
Everybody must learn from that. All right, I'll go to our last question. Last and least, how important is healthy mental state of mind in the workplace?
Noni, it's very, very important. At one stage, I was, somebody said to me that they thought that I suffered from schizophrenia because I was the type of person that when I got to work, my home life stayed at home, and when I got home, my work life stayed at work. I think it's really important that on the way to work, you prepare your mind so that when you get to work, whatever's bothering you from the house stays at home. I also think it's really important that being in the motor industry, you need to take time out for yourself to relax, unwind, and refresh, charge your batteries. When we step into the dealership every single day, it's really important that we have the attitude that we're here to serve. We're here to serve our customers, and you cannot serve a customer or you cannot serve your fellow colleagues if you're operating on an empty cup. So our cups have to be full first, and only then can we give of our best to the people that we deal with. So a healthy state of mind is really important. And then when you get to work, it's natural that not everybody's going to have a positive attitude. So you will come across people that are negative, that have brought some stuff from home. It's really important not to get involved in that type of environment. You can be the center of the storm, but you don't need to be part of the storm.
Correct. Yeah, we've seen that because we've been in the motor trade for a while. We've seen all those things, and people normally, they don't disclose exactly what's actually bothering them personally, and then they bring it at work, and then you find that it becomes a chaos in a working environment. But I'm glad I learned a lot from you, Sharon. It was a big conversation. I really appreciate you, and I learned, all the viewers, they learned a lot from you.
Thank you very much.
We all want to be you, actually. You are a motor industry expert.
Thank you, Noni.
It's a pleasure.